Nikon D7000, probably one of the most anticipated cameras for a long time from Nikon. Who's this camera for? Now, this camera is more for the enthusiast photographer, somebody who's had a lot of time taking pictures and wants something more from their camera. Who wants to be challenged by the camera itself as well as the pictures you're actually able to take creatively. And the spec really reflects that. Now, this is an APS-C camera, not a full frame, but you've got a change from Nikon again. They've really pumped up their ability to capture pixels at 16.2 megapixels here. So really upping the game now with picture quality. Nikon have been very, very careful about talking about image quality, rather than just purely pixel counts and pixel densities and kind of this race of having the most pixels on a sensor. But there are other specs too. For example, the top of the camera itself, magnesium plating on the back as well. So this camera has really been designed with the magnesium alloy plating and the weather seals to be taken outside by the enthusiast photographer and used in those sorts of conditions and come back surviving. In terms of other things that are interesting with this camera, in terms of those interested in spec, you've got 6 frames a second shooting, you've got a 9-stop ISO range. So that goes from 100 ISO to 25,600, a massive, massive range, and getting up there with their top spec pro cameras. You've also got the active D-lighting, which is important, 6 frames a second shooting, 39 autofocus points spread out across the frame, so very important if you're being creative and pushing things to the frame and using wide apertures. You've got a lot of in-camera menu options and the ability to add lots of accessories to this camera. So largely this camera is about starting at the base, you know, aperture priority, shutter priority mode, and really working your way up through the camera and through its potential, from anything from the intervalvometer where you can do timed frame shots, ultra long exposures, you can put a GPS unit on it. You've got a nice big 3-inch LCD screen on the back which has 920 dots in it, so you can really zoom in, start to see the detail in the 14-bit RAWs that it can actually shoot, so lots of bit depth in there too. Overall, this is a very, very highly spec'd camera. The thing is it's £1,200 with the standard kit lens, which is an 18-105 VR. So it's not a cheap camera, but I think the people who are going to be able to spend that sort of money are going to have demands that really this camera can meet. So let's take a look at some of the details, shall we? Now, probably one of the most fundamental elements about this camera that people will be interested in is its high ISO ability. Now, I want to show you an example here. We're in this, it's kind of a mid-afternoon in the winter, and the lighting is, well, as you'd expect, really quite dour. It's rainy and horrible outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera